So I'm kind of torn between two video ideas. One idea I want to talk about is all the changes that's been happening to Amy Rose as a character. And then another video is basically me wanting to talk about Sage and how she kind of changed fundamentally the entire series and how everything kind of is probably going to be a bit different than what we usually take Sonic as. And when it comes down to it, I don't know what necessarily I want to do. You know, it's kind of like a hard decision, but I'm gonna try to nail down both these subjects in the same video. Might be a little challenging, but we'll see how it goes. More challenging, honestly, than some employers trying to hire somebody that's new and trying them on the job because they can't hire people for shit. But that's neither here nor there. Probably didn't say that for, you know, any sort of reason. Kofi is there. If you'd like to help me out, please do, because damn. Anyway, point is, you got basically a lot of things that's going on in Sonic right now, and a lot of things that people absolutely do like, a lot of things that people really effing hate. For instance, a lot of the Sonic X generations, when it comes to Shadow and all that type of stuff, lots of the dialogue has been changed. A lot of things has used to be like different things of what they were, and now they're not necessarily the same anymore, and all that type of jazz. And a lot of it has to do with like different characters and how they interact with each other. Like for instance, Amy, when it comes down to, you know, basically trying to, you know, kiss on Sonic, but Sonic's like, nah bitch, hold the face right there, only for that to change to carrying cupcakes now, which and then the same thing kind of happens with the other set of dialogue that happened, where, you know, Amy's kind of just like, now, oh, I'm gonna return the favor, and Sonic's not necessarily, you know, having it, but kind of isn't necessarily worried about that at the same time, trying to basically make Amy less overbearing. They did this shit before with episode I guess in Persona 3. What does this have to do with anything? Well, Yukari was an actual angry bitch a lot of the time in P3 original. Then they wanted to go ahead and try to do it a different take and reload by making her less of an angry bitch and more of a, you know, understanding of why she would choose the past to save Makoto and things like that, which I find to believe it's absolutely horseshit. I'm not gonna lie, you just can't do that to a character and that like, oh, it never effing happened. That's bullshit. You can't just rewrite history like this. That's not how this shit goes. Amy is an overbearing character that really likes the shit out of Sonic. You don't have to completely overly remove it and act like it never happened. You can still keep it as a part of the character, along with the fortune teller stuff and along with the responsibility of, you know, having the freedom fighter HQ and all that other type of jazz. You could still have all that stuff and keep that part in, you know? You don't have to have Amy be out here being like superly overly down bad like crazy, but you can keep what it is, you know? You can still keep initially what it's about, and even Sonic can play into it, just be like, yeah, maybe someday, or some shit like that, you know? You don't have to necessarily make it is what it kind of is now. You can still kind of just, you know, cheese the ball with Amy just a bit, but they don't do that, and it's really weird, and it's exceedingly jarring, especially as someone that's been watching Sonic for years, seeing Amy for years, and when it comes down to it, now that she changed up to this more responsible, I'm not really obsessive, you are type character, it's a bit weird. But it also just goes to show you how far these whack-ass modern changes honestly has ended up just integrating the very much different things that we love and just enjoy, right? And one of those different things I have to kind of also funnel into this is now the inclusion of Sage, right? Because Sage obviously has a lot to do with a lot of the things that's happening with current Sonic now, because Sonic never really had a, you know, ultimately crazy modern serious story, and Frontiers being the one that actually did pretty decently. Now it's kind of like, okay, so what is the direction of Sonic just in general as a storytelling person, right? Do we keep games to be fun and just, you know, adventurous, or now do we make it serious and explore the characters in depths that we never seen them been explored ever? And I also want to go ahead and just hammer down these points that, one, I don't necessarily hate Ian Flynn or anything like that. They do an exceptional job with Frontier Story, and they do a really good job when it comes to the comics as well. I'm not necessarily sitting here to hate on that, and I really don't hate on Sage either. I love the shit out of Sage. Sage is perfect. She is the best girl. She is wife. That's the girl that you would need to die for. But, you know, at the very same time, she has started a catalyst of change that has happened within the Sonic franchise now, especially with how, you know, characters kind of carry themselves. But now it's like, which route are we really starting to go down? Because let's just very much keep it a stack. There is a difference between old Sonic writing and, you know, modern Sonic writing, with Frontiers being like the modern take of it, right? And when it comes down to it, in a lot of stories that's not Sonic related and other things in general, now you gotta look at it in a different sort of lens. Because back then we had a mixed bag of fun and a mixed bag of seriousness. Now it's like you're all serious and all that and nothing fun, and that's just kind of how it is, and it really is a jarring kind of look. Like, yes, you have moments in Sonic's history where, you know, you have people kind of having serious plots and things like that going on constantly, you know, and having just straight up the most unfun time. But then there's also times where characters can have a break. I've talked about this in a video before about storytelling, and this is essentially the problem with Sonic right now. What type of story do you tell? Do you tell a story where everything is super serious and every game now from this point forward has meaning to it? Or do you still continue to pump out games and, you know, do serious stuff every now and again? That's kind of like the whole thing of what we want to do, because Ian Flynn is a serious story writer. He seems like the type of person that really cares for serious stuff and nothing else. And at the same time, it's like a detriment a little bit to have something like that as well. Because if you have the characters overly serious, it kind of ruins things. For example, Ruby has serious moments all the time now, especially from volume 4 on up. Everything is basically serious. The characters don't necessarily get to have fun or get to breathe a bit and be human beings, but now everybody kind of has to deal with the serious plot that's going on, and nothing's ever really taking it easy or chilling a bit. Where volume 1 and 3, at least they had moments that were serious, but they still breed, they still were characters, they were humans, they felt like human beings at the end of the day, right? And that's kind of like the issue with a lot of modern writing. A lot of it is just, yo, we gotta make everything important, everything matters to the plot, when that's not necessarily the case. There is reasons for filler episodes, there is reasons for filler games, there is reasons for filler anything, because who would want to watch a character just do important plot shit all the damn time? It's not fun. That's why you got someone like Cloud in, you know, Final Fantasy VII, where they have to stop Sephiroth from, you know, using Meteor to destroy everything, or whatever the hell they're doing with Remake now with the timeline and stuff. But at the very same time, do you see Cloud and them, you know, constantly on Sephiroth's ass, hunting him down like some damn Scooby-Doo mystery? No, you basically see them go to the beach of, you know, like, you know, the Corel region. You got Golden Saucer as well, where they go to this damn amusement park. Yuffie and the damn team, they go on freaking dates and whatever, and things like that. Things that have nothing to do with the plot. Even Sephiroth himself went into the story and was like, go Cloud, take your time, I'll be waiting, and enjoy the time while you got it now. Even Sephiroth realized, hey, people gotta have fun every now and then, right? And that's just how it is. So if even a villain telling you that, what does that tell you overall? That not every single living, waking moment of a character's life needs to be overly serious. It's how you make things super unserious, even when everything feels like it's at the stake of everything. You know, you get what I'm saying? If I could take over the writing of Sonic for like 5 seconds into like a new game or something like that, I wouldn't have Amy just straight up be this type of character that is responsible and all that type of stuff. It will be there, and yes, that's gonna be a lot of her character, but at the very same time, there's gonna be moments where she might crack a joke about how she kind of used to be and kind of how she still wants Sonic's meat and all that type of shit, in that normal Amy ways that we know. And would I want Sage to be serious all the time? No. In fact, if anything, I would want Eggman to kind of do random ass plans, thinking that, oh yeah, this is gonna work, only for Sage to basically be like a I told you so type character, you know, and things like that, you know, in ways where they're not necessarily just 100% about, yeah, let's go ahead and just jack up Sonic's life and all that type of stuff all the time, because that's all Sage is gonna be. I don't want it. I really wouldn't want Sage to be like that, right? Especially for a new character to be like that. Wouldn't really want it. Which leads into the most biggest and probably the problem that I don't think a lot of people recognize when it comes to Sonic, or just any piece of media at all with the specific path that Sonic has gone down. Is that Sonic has a story that will never end. There is never going to be a time where Sonic truly defeats Eggman. There's never going to be a time where everybody kind of coexists in peace. There's never going to be a time where things like that will happen. You know why? Because Sonic is literally too big to end. It is like Mario at this point. There is never going to be a time where Mario defeats Bowser once and for all, and that is it. That is the canonical end of everything that is a Mario. And Eggman being defeated is the canonical end of everything that is Sonic. That's not going to happen. Many other pieces of media has endings, and they have things that will honestly end at some point in time. Kingdom Hearts started off very serious and has very good and serious plot points as time goes on, but even Kingdom Hearts with Kingdom Hearts 4 is now starting the beginning of the end for the franchise when it comes down to, you know, how things are going to go for the story and things just going to go with Sora. And that's fine because there was always going to be that point. And that's the one thing Sonic can't do. Sonic just can't end. So when you really think about it, it's like if you take all the plot points in the world and you put them all super serious and every future game has meaning to it, there's meaning to serious stories, but they don't go anywhere. There's no overall goal. There is no end goal to everything. And that's kind of the whole point. There is no end goal to everything. So why make Sonic super overly serious? If you want to have moments in it, sure, that's perfectly fine. That's appreciated. But at the very same time, it doesn't need to be completely like that every inch of the time. If you just make Sonic super serious all the time, then you rob the whole points of what Sonic is. Sonic is about freedom. He's about doing his own thing at the beat of his own drum, at running at the speed of effing sound, right? He just does what he wants to do, be the hero that he needs to be when time comes, and that's Sonic's whole thing. He doesn't have an end. That's just how he's going to be. He's just in that rare position where he just can't die. And so adding all these types of changes and adding all these types of serious elements and censoring and, you know, crafting up these different reasons as to, oh, this character can't be this way anymore, all that does is preparing for an end of something that will not end. So at the end of the day, I do find it unnecessary that Amy has these changes to her character. And I do find it ridiculous that, you know, she can't be the way she used to be. And the characters can't interact in the way they used to interact. And things of the sort like that. It's jarring for someone that's old as hell, that has been watching Sonic, that has grown up on Sonic, that considers Sonic to be their role model, honestly, to kind of just see all this stuff go on. And it just be like, well, what's the end goal? You're right, there isn't one. And that's kind of the whole point. But that's really what I wanted to say for this one. So hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification way out. Also follow me on socials, and if you'd like to donate to the channel, Kofi and Cash App is available as well. And until then, it's your boy Jay, signing off. Have a blessed day.